Listen, I have opinions about Rings of Power, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Annatar's outfit slayed. I have not stopped thinking about his leather shoulder situation. I don't even know what to call it. A cowl, a shawl, a cape? Let me know. Whatever you want to call it, I need one. And I'm finally going to make it happen. And since I never know when to quit, I'm also going to make his belt. So I started off by patterning the underlayer that the feathers were going to attach to. This is actually like bananas difficult to pattern. I just spent several hours going through a bunch of iterations only to like revert to a pattern version from several hours ago. I came up with the final pattern. Almost 20 years ago, somebody gifted me a giant box of leather scraps, and they're all pretty tiny, which is why I haven't used them, but I just could never get rid of them because I knew they would find their time to shine. I'm pretty sure this used to be a couch because it's all this like patchwork, but it's pretty sturdy. So I used a few pieces of that and patchworked them together to create my 2 pattern pieces. Once you've cut out your 2 pattern pieces, you need to join them together along the shoulder, which helps create that curve. Note that the pattern does not include seam allowance. I just butt the 2 pattern ends up against each other and bridge them with a strip of leather, but if you're planning on stitching them the normal way, you'll need to add seam allowance. I use double-sided tape, which you can get at Tandy. It's just a little bit simpler than glue to keep things all together while you're stitching. Just be aware that it can gum up your needle, so I don't recommend it for a real sewing machine. Ask me how I know. Once I had it all lined up, I stitched the pieces together. I just used an awl and poked the holes. I wasn't too fussed about it looking tidy. It's all going to be hidden anyway. I usually only punch a few holes at a time because they tend to close up over time, and I used leather thread to stitch it up. In case you somehow hadn't noticed, I'm not a high-end fashion, every stitch must be perfect girly. I'm just a Chaos Goblin cosplay girly, and in my mind, if it works, it's not wrong. I'm gonna add Velcro there. I made it so that the smooth side is on the inside so that it'll be like kind of slippery over your clothes. I also think I'm gonna add like a binding around the neck. So then I analyzed the feathers to see if there was any kind of a repeating pattern, and there wasn't. So I just drew up a bunch of feathers in 3 different sizes. But now that I'm seeing the scale of this, the large ones are definitely far too big. After making some adjustments, I then cut out all of my feathers. I think this is going to work quite nicely. I cut the feathers out of cardstock because the thickness of the paper makes it easier to trace around. Then I grabbed a bunch of thin leather scraps in a whole bunch of textures. It was actually kind of nice because some of these pieces are beat up and have folds and stuff, which normally wouldn't be desirable, but in this case, I want the texture. I recommend visiting a local leather store and checking out their scrap bins. The thrift store is another great place to get cheap leather. You can cut up a skirt or something like that. It also doesn't matter if this is real or faux leather, anything will work. If you have one, a silver or gold Sharpie is a great thing to trace onto the leather because it shows up really well. Mine was dried out. I always like using scissors for cutting out thin leathers. And yeah, this took me a long time. Initially, I cut out about 4 of each feather, and towards the end of gluing, cut out an additional 50 or so of the small size. How many you need is really dependent on how tightly you layer them. Once I cut them all out, I mixed them together to make sure the textures were distributed randomly. I added bias binding around the neckline, clipping it in place and stitching it with my sewing machine. And I also used my sewing machine to stitch the Velcro on. Okay, I added bias tape around the neck and Velcro to do it up. And now I'm ready to attach the feathers. So next I glued the feathers on, and I did this while camping. Don't you love my tablecloth? I used barge cement, and while barge is the best glue for leather, I don't necessarily recommend it for this. It seemed like a good idea in the beginning, but then the more layering was happening, the more of a pain in the ass it became. It used way more barge than I was expecting, and I ran out on my first camping trip. Haha. So a week later on another camping trip, I got back at it. So basically I started around the bottom edge with the largest feathers and slowly worked my way up. I tried to keep the textures randomly distributed and just place the feathers however looked good. Barge is a contact cement, which means you have to apply it to both sides and then let it dry before pressing the pieces together. This ended up taking me so much extra time, and I think you'd be better off with a regular glue. Another regret that I had was using so much glue. I wish I only used glue at the very top of the feather. You can see his feathers blowing around in the wind in the show, and mine are glued pretty much all the way down. All right, so I'm making good progress, but I have run out of feathers. So thankfully I brought some scraps with me, and I'm just gonna cut out a bunch more leather feathers so I can finish this. I'm getting close. I definitely could have used a lot more larger feathers and spaced things out a bit more so I didn't end up using so many feathers. Once I got down to the last row, I trimmed each feather shorter so it fit perfectly in each space. I posted on Instagram asking what to call this thing, and my favorite response was mixing cowl and pauldron together to make the word cowldron. You guys know that's the exact kind of shenanigans I'm on board with.
Anyway, time to move on to the belts.
Hi, if you're new here, my name is Alwyn. I'm a cosplayer and leatherworker, and I make accessories and costumes inspired by my favorite fandoms, so follow for nerdy shenanigans. First, I tape my pattern together and cut it out. Note that you have the option to overlap the belt and secure with Velcro, or use a lace-up style. Trim the pattern down to the length that you need. I cut the belt from 8-ounce vegtan cowhide using a knife and metal ruler. I highly recommend testing out your tooling method on a piece of scrap before beginning, so you can settle on the best tools for the job and make sure you're happy with the look. It was at this point that I realized my pattern needed adjustment. This doesn't line up with that. That's going to annoy the shit out of me. And no. After adjusting my pattern, I brought my belt camping to do the tooling and set up my workspace in my camper van Vandal. I dampened the leather with a sponge and traced the pattern onto the leather with a dull pencil. Because this takes so long to tool, I worked in sections down the belt, tooling about 1/3 of it at a time and dampening the leather as I went. First, I used a swivel knife to carve the lines.
You'll notice for the most part I'm not connecting the lines. The reason for that is that these tiny little corners, if you do connect them, it can start to peel up over time. I like to use kind of my finger up against the edge as a guide and then just kind of drag it along, and then you're maintaining an equal distance.
Try to carve in long sweeping strokes and don't tip your knife from side to side. Next, I used a bevel stamp along the border. Using a mallet, hammer your way slowly along and don't be afraid to go back and forth over the lines more than once until you've smoothed everything out. Next, I used a small stylus to widen all the middle lines. This isn't even a leather tool. I got a cheapo clay modeling set at the craft store, and that included various stylus tools. I rubbed the stylus back and forth a few times, and then moved on to using a larger stylus to widen them even more. This was kind of strenuous and hard on the hands, but it worked really well. After widening all the middle lines, I used a bevel stamp on the outsides of the ropes. So I'm going to bevel the outsides of each of these bands. I didn't worry too much about getting the outside super smooth because the texture I'm adding later is going to obscure a lot of that, but I tried to make sure the parts where they overlapped was nice and smooth. Next, I used a large pear shader to hammer all the background areas. So I'm just kind of working my way along, up one side, and then kind of randomly through the middle. Then I used this small backgrounder to get into the corners and tidy things up. Lastly, I used my stylus and my edge beveler just to smooth out any rough areas. Taking the extra time to do some final smoothing like this can really level up your result and make it look cleaner and more uniform. Then I used the biggest hole punch I had to add circle details at the center of each square, making sure to tap lightly with my mallet so I don't punch the hole all the way through. I didn't think they were obvious enough, so I also used a bevel stamp around the outsides to make them pop forward more. After letting the leather dry, I used an edge beveler to round the edge. The next step was to dye the belt black. I used Phoebing's leather dye and a wool dauber to apply it. Black dye is the one color you can't really mess up. It goes on evenly no matter what you do, so just make sure to get down into all of the crevices, and I hit the edges as well. I only do this with black, but I find it really ends up sort of sitting on the surface. A good buff with a cloth prevents rub off later. All right, so the black dye is on. I was a little bit torn about if I should paint it first and then use black antique, or if I should dye it black and then paint gold over top, and I decided on the second one. These holes are really large, and I didn't think that antique was going to fill them up adequately to really show that black. So yeah, I'm just going to put the finish on this, and then I will be ready to paint it. Then I used my usual sealer of watered down acrylic Vaseline to seal it. I usually use 2 to 3 coats with dry time in between, and I like to apply it with a paintbrush because a wool dauber will leave fibers behind. And I brush the surface over and over until it's almost dry to make sure any bubbles or streaks are smoothed out, as they will remain visible after drying. I used the same finish on the edges, and I slicked the edges after every coat while the leather was still damp. Once the belt was completely dry, I moved on to painting. I mixed some paint up in a jar. This might seem kind of extra, but for a big project like this, I like to measure the paint out with measuring spoons so I know exactly what mixture I used. This is just craft store acrylic paint, but I did water it down to thin it so it goes on smoother without brush strokes. I decided to apply it with a flat paper towel. Oh, that's working perfectly. That's working like surprisingly perfectly. I live. I'm just kind of dabbing it on the paper because I want to remove the excess. And by the way, I'm starting in the middle of the belt because that's going to be the back. When in doubt, always start with the area that's going to be the least visible in the end. I went really slow, dabbing off the excess paint and applying it lightly to make sure I wasn't getting any paint down into the lower areas. The towel started to disintegrate pretty quickly, so I replaced it regularly. I'm just hitting the edges, making sure they're all gold. This worked incredibly well, but I did come back in with a paintbrush
just to touch up a few areas that didn't look smooth enough. If you look at the original, it's not totally uniform, so there's no need to be overly precious with getting your paint even. Lastly, I used barge cement to add the Velcro. I marked the placement with a pen because barge is a contact cement that needs to be applied to both sides and left to dry before pressing together. It's a good idea to rough up your leather before gluing, especially on the front side, which is smooth.
I'm capping and I realized I don't have my leather rougher, so we're getting creative.
After letting the barge dry for 10 to 15 minutes, I pressed the Velcro onto the leather and rubbed it really hard to make sure it was secure. And here's the finished accessories. I am obsessed with this cauldron and I want to wear it with every outfit. If you're on Instagram, tag me in your project because I love seeing them and follow for more.